Yes, it's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day.
All he wanted was to get from here to there. When he discovered you can't get there.
Oh, no, not
from here.
Hey! Just take a look at the radiator hose. I think it's bust.
Well, it's your radiator hose. It's busted.
In the town of Superior, Arizona.
Dog looks sick.
That's because he's dead.
What?
Things ain't always what they seem.
They have a special name.
Toby and Tucker. Call me TNT.
For strangers.
You ain't planning on staying around here, are you?
In here, I made y'all hot and sweaty.
Who are just passing through.
Christ! Who the hell are you? I'm her husband.
It's roadkill.
Well, hey, bud.
What happened to my car?
I don't know, but it's the reason that I'm living here and you're just passing through.
You're not still upset over that little love tap, are you?
Can't live with him, can't live without him.
Can't live with him, can't shoot him.
Would you?
Would I what?
Would you kill her?
There's money. Please do it for me, Bobby.
This car ain't going nowhere till I get money.
Kill her.
Kill her.
You think you can take the money and dump me?
What? We love each other. We're gonna run off and I'm gonna have his love child.
Is everybody in this town on drugs? I don't think you understand.
I have to get out of here.
You got any requests?
Sean Penn.
Is everybody crazy in this crazy town?
Jennifer Lopez.
Tighter. I won't break.
Nick Nolte.
Man who's got no ethics is a free man.
Powers Booth.
Kind of peculiar how things happen.
Claire Danes.
I'm gonna be 18 in 2 years.
Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm just like Dynamite Boy, and when I go off, somebody gets hurt.
Fine.
And Billy Bob
You
Thornton.
think bad, then bad's what you get.
An Oliver Stone movie.
40,000 people die every day. How come you're not one of them?
U-turn.
How come Patsy Cline don't put out no more new records?
Because she's dead.
Don't that make you sad?
I've had time to get over her.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 38 of Film Gold, and this is also an episode of the Stinking Paws. This is a swapcast, and with me remotely is my old friend. Couldn't tell you how many podcasts we've done at this point. Scott Phipps. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. It's into the thousands now, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many episodes of Film Gold are we now, sir?
38. Yeah. It's been a bit like the third man, if you like, to Life and Life Only and Glass Onion, but then I did a 5-parter on Citizen Kane, which used up a few episodes.
That's it. That's what it's all about, mate. Yeah.
Right, just very quickly. So your podcast, The Stinking Paws, Real Britannia and Rainbow Valley. If you don't mind, a very brief, perfunctory...
what the hell are they all about speech? Yeah. Stinking Paws is the one that you guessed most frequently on, I'm going to say. As the tagline says, chatting about classic movies since 2013, some good, some not so good. There's no rules as to what we review, and it can run the gamut from a silent movie to a documentary to something from currently showing in the cinemas, which we don't do as much, you know. Quite relaxed, general informal chit-chat about movies. Real Britannia, been going about 8 years, strictly British movies, and again, covering the full gamut from the early silence, the early Hitchcock stuff from the 30s, all the way up to, I think, the most recent film we covered was The Father from 2020, I think, with Anthony Hopkins. You know, we did that a couple of weeks ago. Rainbow Valley, documentary-style podcast, which is the history of the 1960s, the music, the personalities from the decade that shook the world, as we call it.
Oh, very nice. So 3 podcasts, and then do you still do Talking Pictures TV?
Yes, I'm one of the co-hosts on the official Talking Pictures TV podcast. I sit in the chair for that every 9 weeks. Every 3 weeks we do an episode, so I do like the third hosting duty on that. And that is linked to the nation's favourite archive TV and movie channel. If you haven't seen it, it just brings back so many memories, the stuff they show on that channel. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Nice. You also had a chart show. All I was going to ask you, is all that still online? Will that stay online?
I think it is. It's on Mixtape.
Yeah.
But I had this crazy idea to link in with the Rainbow Valley podcast, I was going to do this weekly chart show, recreating the chart show from 1st of January 1960. I think I got up to about June 1962. I was enjoying it. I was loving it because the music is absolutely superb, and it's quite an easy sort of edit to put together once you've collated everything. But the other podcasts were suffering because of it. So I'm going to sort of go back. I'm going to do some specials. You know, I might do a Christmas chart countdown from the 60s or something and keep that going. But eventually, you know, I'm hoping that will come back at some point. But I did enjoy doing that. You know, it's the secret DJ in me longing to do a chart show.
Yeah, well, you and I have something in common, that we have a fairly ridiculous workload, considering it's not anything like a career for either of us. So, you know, even though you are Superman, there's limits to Superman. You know,
Exactly.
Keep all those podcasts going. Yeah, because I feel like my three, I talk about that we're like children, aren't they? My three kind of cancel each other out because it's impossible to get all three out regularly. All of them have become monthly or 2 monthly podcasts. But then I've stopped worrying about it. We put together a back catalogue we can be pretty proud of.
I'm happy if Stinking Paws averages 12 episodes a year.
Yeah.
So, you know, we could have a 2-month break, but as long as we catch up by the end of the year and we've done that average of 12. And Real Britannia pretty much does about 2 a month, possibly more. Do about 30 a year of Real Britannia. So I'm quite happy with that. You know, and the Rainbow Valley, I want to do more. I would love to do more of those, but they are so time-consuming, mate. They just take forever.
You should put together a total, see how many you've done. I think I've done about 210 or something, but you must have way more than that.
Top of my head, I'm editing episode 200 of Stinking Paws, 188 Real Britannias, and there's about 40 Rainbow Valleys, but then you count the 120-plus chart shows.
guest appearances, because we've both done quite a lot of those.
Yeah, I do. Let me see, 30 talking pictures a year, and guesting on your shows and other people's shows as well, mate. So it's taken over my bloody life.
Yeah, I feel the same. But then I sort of decided if it ever does become stressful and feel like a job, then I just stop for a while.
Yeah.
But my output tends to be a bit sporadic. It's not like Glass Onions. Most months I can get an episode out, but like Life and Life Only, I hadn't done anything for a couple of months, and then this Southport thing, like it's completely. Obviously, it's horrendous, but I'm so fascinating the background of that guy. So I put out a 2-parter. I just sat down and I had notes, and I recorded about 2.5 hours 2 weeks ago, and I thought that's a 2-parter.
Yeah, I tend to take a break over Christmas. Otherwise, I find you just burn out if you keep trying to push it all the time. The listeners are generally very sort of receptive to that. They fully understand. So, plenty of stuff in the back catalogue if they want to go back. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. Right. So, U-Turn, 1997, directed by Oliver Stone. I haven't asked you for your experience, and I'm still not going to yet. Not quite. It was what we decided, just something slightly different. We got such a brilliant cast in this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't really know Powers Booth, the sheriff, but the other the other 7, I kind of know them very well. So what we're going to do, just bosh through each person quickly. Not necessarily talking about them in this film, but just what we know them from. So obviously starting with, start with Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone wrote Midnight Express and Scarface before he ever directed any films.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of his?
I have. Not a massive fan, but saying that, JFK is a top 5 movie for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely love JFK. I think I'm more of a fan of the overblown political stuff rather than this and Natural Born Killers and things like that. You know, I sort of liked Nixon a bit more. Definitely love Born on the 4th of July. Watched Platoon, enjoyed it. Never really went back to Platoon, but quite enjoyed Platoon. Wasn't a massive fan of Natural Born Killers or Wall Street. This one, I'm going to give you a bit of a clue, sort of sits mid of all of those for me. And I did enjoy it. I'll let you know I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I saw Natural Born Killers recently, actually, in it. It's a bit style over substance, and they obviously it's one of those films where you think that's an achievement to get that made, because a bit like this and a bit like Requiem for a Dream, it's just got towards the end like a dizzying number of images, and you just can't keep up with all the images. But yeah, generally, I really love him. And
this film reminded me a little of Natural Born Killers. You know, the different film stocks and the fast editing and some of the bizarre sort of shots that you see cut into the movie. I saw Natural Born Killers when it first came out. It was on a double bill with Reservoir Dogs, and it was the first time I saw both of them. It was on the big screen, when it was a great double bill, absolutely superb double bill. But never really went back to Natural Born Killers. I'm not a massive fan of Woody Harrelson, if truth be told.
Okay. Yeah.
Juliette Lewis sort of annoys me a little bit. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of a desert setting as well, which is similar with this. All right, we'll go quite quick fire. So Sean Penn, what do you think of when you think of Sean
Penn used to annoy me something terrible. Honestly, I could never really get on with Sean Penn. I don't know why, but if you've seen Mystic River, you'll know that he's a fantastic actor. And Carlito's Way, where he plays against character completely, in all the makeup and the balding hair as David Kleinfeld, he is absolutely superb in that. But his early career, I just found him very annoying. His character in this slightly annoyed me, but that's the character, not him. But as an actor, he's sort of gained my respect a little bit in the past few years. Interesting to see what he's going to be like in the new, what's it called, One Battle After Another.
Oh, yeah.
That, isn't he? And I'm interesting to see what that's going to be like. So.
Yeah, he's stuck around. I mean, he's put together a good body of work, you know. I've never seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He just kind of plays a stoner and a...
years ago. First came out,
Carlito's Way, he sort of looks like Art Garfunkel, doesn't he?
He does. He looks like a
coke snorting Art Garfunkel lawyer.
Art Garfunkel gone to pot, basically. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's brilliant in that. He's brilliant in Carlito.
I've got some other ones. Casualties of War. I rewatched that. Didn't really like it that much. Michael J. Fox is good. The Game, The Thin Red Line. Now, should we get the Beatles reference out of the way so we can all relax?
I'm trying to think. Is it related to Sean Penn then?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Go on.
He did a film called I Am Sam, which I think I got through once. Plays a mentally challenged guy, but the whole soundtrack is Beatles songs done by other people.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet and Lowdown, that's one. Have you ever got to that one? It's a Woody Allen film where he plays a kind of Django Reinhardt-esque. Oh, that's a good one. Because Woody Allen appears in the mockumentary as himself commenting on the guy as if he's a real guy. So it's a very Woody Allen thing. 21 Grams as well, it's a good one. Right, J-Lo. The first time I ever saw J-Lo possibly was this Blood and Wine, which got our friend Michael Caine.
Yeah, watched
Jack
that recently. Yeah.
Stephen Dorff is in that. It's a very tenuous Beatles connection.
Of course.
Stuart Sutcliffe, didn't he? What else have you seen of her?
I've got two that come to mind immediately. One is a guilty pleasure. Made the same year as U-Turn, I think, Anaconda.
I've never seen it.
It's just one of those so bad it's good monster movies. It's got John Voight in it as well, who we'll talk about in a second. I'm going to guess. But Anaconda's just one of those. I've got no qualms in saying, do you know what? I love that movie. It just cracks me up. But the one where she absolutely excels. I mean, she can do comedy. She can do serious drama. Out of Sight with George Clooney.
Oh, yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Superb film. Absolutely superb performances all round. And it doesn't get spoken about as much as it should do, this movie. I absolutely adore it. It's a shame that she sort of gets more recognised for the sort of rom-com stuff that she tends to do. But with this, Steven Soderbergh at his peak, mate, in 1998, it's the following year. You know, I think she got Oscar nominated for it. Great film.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously good. I mean, when I first saw this, I saw this on U-Turn, I'm talking about. I saw it on video the year after it came out, so 98, so I was about 23. And I mean, just the first time you see her, like, particularly as I've always been into exotic women, and she's like, wow. So it's not unusual that in film she's able to strike up good chemistry with whoever the male lead is.
I think in U-Turn particularly, she's the most believable character. Some of them are quite caricatured, and some of their motives are a bit questionable. And
I can't wait to get into all this. Maybe you didn't absolutely love it, because that gives us a bit more to talk about, perhaps.
I didn't love it, but there's enough in there for me to talk to you for about an hour.
That's good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, 2 hours. But yeah.
I think let's do it.
What else have we got? She was one of the voices on Ants, and one thing I just love about Ants is that you've got Stallone, Woody Allen, and J-Lo all doing voices together. That's just brilliant.
I think, is it Sharon Stone in that, or is she in Bugs Life?
Oh, Sharon Stone, I think.
Is she in that, or is she in Bugs Life? Hang on a second, I've got to check, because Gene Hackman, Danny Glover, Dan Aykroyd, Anne Bancroft, Sharon Stone, Woody Allen. So, what a cast list! Christopher Walken, all in Ants.
Jesus.
It was
That's a
the second cousin to Bug's Life, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That cast list is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, this one is as well, really. When you've got
Mm.
all these people who, they're just all very good, and they're mostly just, well, not cameos, a bit more than cameos, but
There's a couple of
supporting.
interesting cameos in this, actually. Yes. Yes.
Right, Nick Nolte, one of his first films was The Deep, which was very much, I watched that again fairly recently, Jaws Light, with, Robert Shaw almost playing Quint
Yeah,
again, but a very
it's eventually, isn't it?
down.
It's
Yeah.
a Pete eventually.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Bisset came out just after.
So
All the
similar,
hype
yeah.
because it was riding the coattails of Jaws. It's nothing like Jaws. Absolutely not. Nick Nolte, I love.
Just a couple more films, and then I'll fill in a few as well.
Really came to prominence for me in 48 Hours with Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy, which I think most people first discovered Nick Nolte then. Great turn in Cape Fear, the remake of Cape Fear, taking on the Gregory Peck role.
And much more of a flawed character, because the original film was just good versus evil, basically.
Yeah, but
He's having an affair.
Having an affair, yeah, absolutely. And I just love the fact as the man's getting older, he's becoming more and more grizzled and he just looks angry all the time. And it was a little bit, not off-putting, but a bit sort of disconcerting to see him because he's quite slim in U-Turn. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. Has he got false teeth in U-Turn? They don't look like his teeth.
I'm going to get to themes later, but there's an animal theme where people behaving slightly like animals and bearing. He bears the teeth at one point. So does J-Lo. Just before she pushes him off the cliff, you see her kind of. There's almost hissing and baring her teeth. So there's a bit of that going on.
Okay, and for comedic role, was it Down and Out in Beverly Hills? He plays the tramp. It's a remake of a French movie, and I think it's Bette Midler and Danny DeVito are this rich couple, and he falls in their swimming pool and ends up
Blimey, I haven't seen
in
that.
and taking over their life. One of those old touchstone things from the 80s,
Yeah. Yeah, Cape Fear was interesting. Thin Red Line's another one where you've just got everyone in Hollywood in it.
Yeah.
And there's quite a lot of crossover with guys from this film being in films together, but not necessarily being in scenes together. There's quite a lot of crossover. Hotel Rwanda. Yeah, I'd probably know him 48 Hours and Cape Fear, I'd say. Probably.
Yeah, for most people, I think that's what they know him from. We did a Robert Altman recently, didn't we? California Split. He's in The Player, which I think all of Hollywood is in The Player, to be honest.
Yeah, we're finding a lot of these, aren't we?
Yeah. If I was to pin down the 3 or 4 movies that I know him from, it's 48 Hours and Cape Fear, I think, will be the 2 that I really know him for.
All right. One of my favourite guys, Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, more than memorable in this. We're gonna dedicate a whole section to Daryl the mechanic. But what I like about Billy Bob, he's obviously a bit of a wild character in real life. But he's able to play these roles, not this role, not U-Turn specifically, but they play these really quiet roles. So if you've ever seen, there's 2 films that came out in the same year, Monsters Ball, where he has a shouting scene at the beginning, but then the rest of it, he's sort of grieving his son. And he's able to be very quiet and very still.
Yeah.
And then The Man Who Wasn't There, which is one of the Coen brothers.
Great film.
Oh, love it.
And the character he plays in U-Turn would not be out of place in a Coen Brothers movie.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That is pure Coen Brothers, that character. And also in 97, he was in Armageddon, and he's the flight controller, I think. And again, he's the calm, the voice of reason, holding it all together. He does that so well. I find him slightly creepy. I don't know why. I think that whole thing with Angelina Jolie, which is another John Voight reference because he's here acting.
Oh, yeah.
Father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
That whole thing where they had vials of each other's blood hanging around their neck and the tattoos and all that sort of stuff done. That sort of private life sort of put me off him a little bit. Yeah. And he plays a really creepy president of the United States in Love Actually. He does creepy really well. The sort of character he plays in U-Turn, he does really well. Have you seen A Simple Plan, the Sam Raimi film with Bill
No,
Paxton?
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it.
And he's sort of like quite a simple, educationally challenged character in that as well, with the big thick glasses. That's the first thing that came to mind when I saw this character, because you told me, look out for Billy Bob Thornton. He's amazing. And he is. The character in this is fantastic. It's almost comic relief, but at the same time, he is very menacing in this.
Yeah, he's sinister, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come to that later, as you say. He's got a great back catalogue when you look through it. One False Move, I haven't seen that for years, but I remember that being brilliant. Monsters Ball, as you say, is absolutely fantastic. Didn't like Bad Santa, which is the one a lot of people know him for. And
You did a couple of dodgy
yeah.
comedies. Mr. Woodcock, I watched on a plane. Perfect for a plane, you know. I think I watched, going back to J-Lo, I think I watched Shall We Dance with Richard Gere and J-Lo. And I found it weirdly, because I was on a plane and you're in a relaxed state and you're not expecting to watch a great film on a plane. I kind of like that. I kind of bought into the rom-com ending in that case.
Okay, yeah.
We need to get a rom-com ending in this film, if you noticed. About 20 minutes before the end.
Yes.
It's the most messy rom-com ever, but yeah. All right. Joaquin Phoenix, again, absolutely love him. Very, again, like Billy Bob, bit of a weird guy in real life. You can tell he's a bit of a flawed character, but it works so well for acting. So I got To Die For. You remember the one with Nicole Kidman is a weather lady? Yeah. He's good in that. Gladiator, obviously. Walk the Line, and of course we get. I mean, he's dressed all 50s in this film.
It's Johnny Cash.
You get Johnny Cash on the jukebox, isn't it?
And he looks like the Man in Black as he walks into the diner, and Ring of Fire comes on when Powers Booth walks in as well. Yeah.
But he's too young, isn't he? Really, Toby TNT is a bit too young. He hasn't got the gravitas yet.
Yeah.
Then I got The Master. Now, can you tell me about Joker? Because that's one of the ones you've reviewed, and I've never seen it.
It took me 2 watches. When I first saw it, I enjoyed it, I liked it, and I just couldn't see what the hype was all about. When you watch it a second time and you pick up on just how unwell his character is, because this basically is a movie about mental illness. And when you pick up that this man is seriously, seriously unwell, his actions and that become a little bit clearer as to what carries on throughout the film. And I absolutely love it, and I love his performance in Joker. I've watched it about 4 times now. I haven't seen the sequel. I'm a little bit wary of that because the concept of it being a musical, and don't want to ruin the first one if the second one is not as good. But if you haven't seen the Joker, it might be worth a 2-watch viewing for you, mate. To really, I know you like watching movies multiple times and getting into them. Yeah, I'd highly recommend Joker. Not a fan of Her. Didn't like the film, not so much him. I just didn't like the concept of that movie at all. I liked him in Signs. I like Mel Gibson, and he plays Mel Gibson's younger brother, and he's very good in that. Haven't seen You Were Never Really Here or Inherent Vice, unfortunately. And that new, was it the Ridley Scott version of Napoleon that came out a couple of years ago?
Oh, he was Napoleon, wasn't he?
Yeah, I watched that. That's fine. It's fine. It's a bit of an overblown Ridley Scott type movie, but he's excellent in it.
He's just got a weird look, hasn't he? Obviously, from the beginning, he had a strange look, and it works.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wow. We've got another biggie here. Jon Voight. I'll just go through mine quickly. Midnight Cowboy, Catch-22, where he plays Lieutenant Milo Minder Binder or Minder Binder.
Yeah.
Deliverance, we've done. Coming Home, where he plays another Vietnam vet. Or does he? Because I'm not sure if this character's actually a Vietnam vet in U-Turn.
No.
Probably not. And then The Rainmaker. He kind of plays the bad guy in The Rainmaker. And Claire Danes is in The Rainmaker.
I love a John Grisham, mate. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the obvious ones are Midnight Cowboy from our era that we always talk about, Deliverance. But...
Those are the two. They're the two that would stand out, Midnight Cowboy and Deliverance. He's in Anaconda with Jennifer Lopez.
Good.
Playing an equally bonkers character. He's brilliant. I think he's playing like a Brazilian in it. I mean, his heritage in this movie is questionable enough as it is, but in Anaconda, he's got this dodgy South American accent with his hair slicked back, wearing a vest, basically, throughout the whole movie. And that's part of the charm of this film. It cracks me up so much.
Oh, it's another crossover, yeah. I hadn't even got that.
There was so much of this going on. Because actually, as well, I briefly mentioned Armageddon and Billy Bob Thornton. There's a cameo from Liv Tyler in U-Turn. She's in Armageddon as well.
And she was dating Joaquin Phoenix. That's why she's
there. We go.
She's dating him at this time. Yeah, it's all about what Del Boy would call incense.
Incense, exactly. There's a lot of incense in this movie as well. Yes, we'll get to that at some point.
Oh, God. All right, and then, I mean, I didn't know Powers Booth. I see that he was in Nixon. I've only seen Nixon once around the time it came out. Was he a recognisable face?
Absolutely. He's one of my favourites. He only died 7-8 years ago, I'm going to say. And for me, he was just one of those solid actors that if he was in a movie, you knew it was going to be good. He normally played bad sheriffs or things like that, you know. He's in Tombstone. Absolutely fantastic in Tombstone. Curly Bill, he plays in that, another baddie. The one that I'm going to push you towards, if you haven't, well, you haven't seen it, obviously. I mean, he's in Extreme Prejudice with Nick Nolte as well, by the way. There's another, so many of all these.
That's crazy.
The one you need to go to, your love for Deliverance is equal to mine. You know, you and I have spoken about Deliverance and reviewed it and all of that sort of stuff. In 81, Walter Hill released a movie called Southern Comfort, which I always see as the sister movie to Deliverance. Basically, there's a squad of National Guardsmen and they're doing a weekend exercise in the Louisiana swamplands. And basically, they steal some canoes from some local sort of Cajun residents. But they haven't got live ammunition because they're on a training exercise. And basically, these guys come after them and hunt them through the swamps like Deliverance. So they're this trained fighting force without any weapons being hunted down by a load of hillbillies. And
it's pretty similar, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's got Peter Coyote, Keith Carradine's in it, Powers Booth, as we say, Fred Ward, Brian James. We love a bit of Brian James. He's one of the hillbillies. I'm very tempted to bring this as our next movie to review because you haven't seen it. It's great. It's post-Vietnam, 81, you know. It's almost like a Vietnam movie set in the Louisiana swamps. It's tense, it's atmospheric. It's the companion movie to Deliverance.
Oh, wow. Another one I've got to get to.
Yeah, Southern Comfort, 1980.
So many holes in my knowledge. Depressing. Okay, and Liv Tyler you mentioned, yeah. Finally, Claire Danes. I mean, I probably only know Romeo and Juliet. Obviously, I watched that at the cinema, I remember. And yeah, she was in The Rainmaker. She sort of played the battered wife in The Rainmaker.
Oh, she's in The Rainmaker as well. Right, okay, yeah. Romeo and Juliet, obviously, I think that was her breakout performance, wasn't it? I think she was in that earlier version of Little Women that Winona Ryder was in. Terminator 3, she's the female lead in that. I think that's her first big movie after Romeo and Juliet. Apart from that, nothing that I would really have been interested in or wanted to watch, mate, to be honest. She did a lot of TV, didn't she? There was one massive Great American TV series that she did for years and years. She was in Homeland, 9 seasons, 10 seasons of Homeland.
Yeah. God, that is big.
That's why she didn't make a lot of movies at that period of time.
A couple of other casting bits. We always get these, don't we? But Sharon Stone was considered for Grace.
Yep.
But I would contend J-Lo has got a very childlike face. And the way she behaves in this, you know, she's still a little girl because she says, oh, you know, they took my childhood away. I just don't think Sharon, obviously, I'm sure it would have been great, but it just doesn't, it's not quite the same. And obviously she would have been a bit older as well.
I think J-Lo's 27 when this was made. Basic Instinct come out in 91. And Sharon Stone then was in her mid-20s. So at this point, Sharon Stone would have been in her early 30s. Bearing in mind how the storyline progresses in U-Turn, I don't think it would have worked with a 30-year-old actress. And Sharon Stone would have portrayed a much stronger, less vulnerable character, I think.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And it is perfect casting. As I say, she is the most believable character in this whole cast for me. There's flaws in not necessarily the casting, but so the writing and some of the portrayal of these characters that's a little bit unbelievable. But she's the constant, I think, throughout this, that you think, yeah, actually, you can portray vulnerability, you can portray the horrors of abuse and violence that she's gone through, and the way she reacts and the way the story progresses from her line of things. Perfect. Believable, mate. Absolutely. The only unbelievable part of it on my behalf for her casting is that we're supposed to believe that she's part Navajo Indian or whatever it is.
Yeah, we're going to get onto that because there's a lot of American Indian imagery. Yeah. Rather like The Shining. I don't know if you noticed there was even some of the soundtrack.
Tons of it, yes.
We will get to all that. Yeah, they also, you probably noticed this, they use real pictures of her as a girl. You could see that was actually her. And the other one, what a surprise. Oliver Stone wanted Marlon Brando to play the blind man. I'm only saying that because Marlon Brando just gets considered for every film ever. But I think you said, was it on the last show, you said when they say considered, that might mean very, very tenuously, or they just sent them the script.
It'd be just like they sit in the room going, wouldn't it be great if Marlon Brando could do this role? And they'd go, no, we'll never get him. Okay, then let's get John Voight. You know, that could have been the considered part of it.
Well, then they think about all the baggage that comes with Brando. And
Imagine that. For it's only on screen for 5 minutes, but that would have been 3 weeks of hell with Brando.
Yeah. Right, about half an hour in, we'll finally get to your overall opinion of this film. So
That's fine.
this film largely got forgotten. It was actually submitted to Cannes, and weirdly, all of Oliver Stone's films were rejected by Cannes until the Wall Street sequel, Money Never Sleeps.
That's insane.
That is a bit weird. My viewing of this, I knew it fairly well. I was very kind of locked into this film. I watched it in an afternoon and I had to sort of remember where I was at the end of it. I found it even more messed up in terms of all the Grace and Jake stuff than I previously thought. But I really did I liked Sean Penn in this, and liked everyone really. But right, what was your feeling then, first viewing?
First time watch, a couple of nights ago. 97, I was working in the video stores, so this was on the shelves at the time. My initial reaction back then, my reasons for not watching it, there was a bit of an overload of this type of movie in the late 90s. If you can remember, there were things like Red Rock West, California with David Duchovny, The Hot Spot with Jennifer Connelly, all of these sort of movies that were crime capers that were set possibly in a desert or somewhere, or and all the big directors were trying to do their version of it. So I sort of thought, wow, and it didn't get particularly good reviews back then, And I think what's happened is that over the years, it's become a little bit of a sleeper. People are going back to it. People that are going back through Stone's catalogue or just going to see, an old Sean Penn movie. This got nominated for Razzies. It was really badly perceived at the time. I need to watch it a second time to get some of the finer points. I got a lot of that relationship stuff and how dark that is immediately because I was sort of aware of it going in. I'd sort of seen a few spoilers. It's one of those films, we've said this before, if you're still thinking about it 2 or 3 days later, it's done its job. It's worked its way into the back of my brain, which I sort of like, but it's also bloody annoying because it's like I need to watch it again just to make sure that I was right about what I thought. Initially, the first 10, 20 minutes, it took me a while to adjust to the Stone vision of editing and cinematography. It's you've got to get into that mindset. Okay, this is an Oliver Stone movie. It's a very different film stock. It's quite fast-paced cut. The credits are really crazy. And I'm thinking, okay, and it could have done with a bit of trimming in the middle. We could have lost 20, 25 minutes. I think this would have made a perfect hour and 40-minute movie, hour and a half. But at the same time, if I was to give this a second viewing, I think I'm absolutely going to adore it because it's not trying to be a Tarantino and it's not trying to be a Coen Brothers movie. It's an Oliver Stone movie that's got elements of all of this together, coupled with neo-noir, western, whatever. You could analyse the shit out of this film and say there's bits of this, there's bits of that. And I think coming out of it, I'm still trying to work it out in my head, mate, to be honest. I think I actually like this. And and the more we talk about it, I think I'm going to actually like it even more.
Yeah, I think you might find that, as we get onto it. Because, I was quite amazed how much there was. I mean, the kind of, I think I mentioned Requiem for a Dream earlier. We did that, obviously. And towards the end, there's this kind of dizzying number of images. And I'd forgotten with this one that you see little not stills, but like tiny little bits from earlier in the film.
Yeah.
As well as bits of random little photos of J-Lo as a little girl to give the history and everything. And also the plot. I mean, I'd forgotten a couple of the twists. I mean, the plot is fairly loose, but then it's towards the end, it does get quite amazing because you really are left guessing, what's going to happen. And they kind of fake a happy ending, as I said. You almost get the happy ending just about 15 minutes before the end. I mean, I listened to some interviews with Oliver Stone. I think the film lost money and it was mostly ignored. I think it was too, I've written down sordid, twisted, and nihilistic. And there's a bit where towards the end with Sean Penn, she says, "Oh, what are you thinking?" He says, "I'm just wondering what horrifying sick shit is coming next." Sean Penn says that. We're kind of thinking that in the film almost.
Well, this is the thing. That old cliche of like, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That Murphy's Law, Sod's Law, whatever it is. And I'm thinking, how much bad luck can this one person have? And it was relentless throughout the film. He doesn't get a break.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go into each separate incident of where he's on top for literally a minute or 2 minutes, and then it gets snatched away from him in the next scene.
Yeah, even just cutting his hand when he's opening the Coke can or something.
Bottle,
just even that, a Coke bottle, sorry. Yeah. But even right to the end, I mean, we will probably spoil it later on, but we'll give you a bit of a primer.
We'll have to reveal the nastiness is revealed about 20-25 minutes in anyway, isn't it? The subplot of the relationship between Nick Nolte and Jennifer Lopez, that's revealed fairly early on in the movie.
He's bad luck. He's got this recurring line, "You're still lucky," and he says it to himself right at the very end before the final twist or the final bit of bad luck. There is a kind of parallel universe where they actually stop the film, rather than trimming 20 minutes, as you were saying, trim off the last 15 minutes. It probably wouldn't have worked, to be honest, but it would have been more commercial if you actually would have got the happy ending of them riding off into the sunset.
The original script, the ending was even darker.
Was it? Because this is based on a novel, isn't it?
Well? It's a lot bleaker, the ending. Yeah.
Have you seen a film called Very Bad Things from maybe a year later? It's Christian Slater.
Is it?
You go to Las Vegas and there's 4 of them.
Is it Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, and then there's a dead body in a hotel. Is that the one?
Yeah, and they end up with 2 dead bodies, in fact.
Yeah, sorry.
I heard just randomly Ebert and Siskel talking about this, and he sort of intimated it just leaves such a bad taste in your mouth about life and about human beings. But it's never going to be that commercial. And I think U-Turn's a bit like that. You feel almost a bit sort of unclean at the end of it, you know.
Oh, it's a sweaty, grimy movie. We've said this about certain films previously. The desert setting, the whole town. Who would choose to live in a place like that?
Yeah, and it's called Superior, isn't it? It's a real place. They filmed it in a place called Superior.
I mean, I'm sort of imagining there must have been some sort of industry there previously, whether it be mining or I don't know, you know. But why would anybody choose to live there? And Claire Danes, her character, epitomises the fact that she is desperate to get out of that town at any cost. The youngsters are probably seeing the light, but there's generations of people still living there. And just can't see the appeal of it whatsoever. Yeah.
There's a little bit, I had a weird association in my mind, because I just listened to a podcast about the Last Picture Show. The youngsters have got that slight Last Picture Show innocence, but obviously this is much darker.
Yeah, well, they haven't been out in the big wide world, have they? They only know. There's going to be one school. There's going to be one church. I think even the church was boarded up, actually, I noticed at one point. So is the town being run down? Is it gradually closing down? It's just dying. But, yeah, it just baffled me that anybody would actually choose to live there. I couldn't see what the holding appeal was for the people that actually stayed there.
Yeah, so you've got this subgenre, as you said, guy who just needs to get out of town, and a more comedic but still quite dark version of that would be After Hours, the one with Griffith Dunn, which I've only ever seen once. I've got to get back to that.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, it's a fun thing, isn't it? A guy who just needs to get out of the town but just can't quite get there. Should we just quickly talk about the title? U-Turn. There's a whole thing of sort of making wrong turnings because he has 2 choices at the beginning and he chooses Superior.
Yeah, that's right. He gets to the fork in the road, doesn't he, when the car breaks down?
Yeah. And then I want to talk to you about genre, because weirdly I found there was a feature on this on Film 97 with old Bazza, Barry Norman.
Brilliant.
And they are firmly calling it a black comedy, which is quite interesting. What would you call the genre?
Neo-noir thriller. Coen Brothers-esque. It's almost a bit sort of No Country for Old Men, that sort of that feel, that vibe. Neo-noir, Western, thriller.
Yeah, it didn't really have the Western tropes, but it's got the setting, obviously.
Yeah, and I comedy. I can't see the comedy bit apart from the caricatures of Billy Bob Thornton and John Voight.
Yeah, and a couple of the lines. Yeah.
They're not intentionally supposed to be funny, I think. It's just you find them amusing.
But isn't that quite interesting that Film 97 sort of went with that? Maybe they mentioned it was a bit noir, a bit Western, but
I did see a review that called it a dark comedy of errors.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody's seeing something comedic in this. I mean, perhaps it is his sort of the frustration that he's feeling, about everything that is going wrong. It's like, oh, God, here we go, we're going wrong again. It's almost sitcom in its, not in its production and not in its presentation, but it's like, it's that whole almost Buster Keaton. It's, oh God, here we go. There's another crazy thing I've got to get through, sort of thing. But it's not projected in a funny way.
I've just remembered, actually, we're talking about natural born killers. There is quite a kinship, because in that they show the, I'm going to keep calling it incense as a tribute to Only Fools and Horses. They show it as a sitcom. Do you remember when Woody Harrelson turns up as the meat man?
Yeah.
And you just see the father just molesting Juliette Lewis. I mean, it was an interesting choice to make it comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of bits I've got here. I mean, the other thing, if you watch the trailer basically plays up the comedy, even if it might not even be there.
Oh,
and there's that one line which is quite funny. Claire Danes, I think, is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And she says, "Why doesn't Patsy Cline make anymore?" He's like, "Well, she's dead. Doesn't that make you sad?" And he says, "I've had time to get over it."
I've got time to get over it. You know, she died in like 1960 or something.
Yeah. Did you notice, this is the kind of thing you might not get on the first view, did you notice he walks past a shop and they're selling like secateurs, isn't it?
Yeah, the three of them in the window.
Yeah, which is what the guy's been using to cut off his fingers.
Yeah.
That was quite funny. Here's another weird thing. You know, when the Russian gangster, because he tells him where he is, which is a bit of a silly bit.
Yeah.
The Russian gangster turned up and the sheriff busts him. Apparently, this according to Oliver Stone, there was a cut scene that they actually filmed where he gets buggered in prison, the Russian gangster.
God, okay.
I know, because maybe you're thinking the film isn't dark enough. We need... And there's a couple of these bits are quite funny. Bobby and Grace are obviously having a sort of celebration fuck, covered in blood, and Jake is there. And he says, "What should we do with him?" And J-Lo says, oh, let him watch.
Let him watch.
He's missing.
That's,
Even though she'd actually been having sex with him about 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a bit dodgy.
There is the John Voight character at the beginning and the dead dog. That made me chuckle, you know, but it is caricature. Like I say, that's the unbelievable characters, you know, that I said earlier.
Is it intentional, though? Is that the comedy, perhaps?
I think so. I mean, Daryl, Billy Bob Thornton, is an excellent character. I mean, should we do this now? I mean, Daryl,
let's do it now.
He
go for it.
Simultaneously provides the film's darkest elements and also its funniest. Yes, it's a caricature, but yeah, even to the fact he's wearing like a child's vest. Did you notice that? It had like cartoon characters on it because it kept showing his belly sticking out from under the vest.
Yeah, because it's like a crop top almost.
He's wearing it because it's a child's vest. It's got like rabbits and things on it.
Oh, no, I didn't even notice that.
And then when Penn goes back to his house, he's playing Twister on his own in the house. But the guy is totally deranged. You know, you've got to be so careful around him because he just comes and he's very controlling, obviously, because he's got Penn's car and he's pushing the price up every time he sees him, and he's broken into the trunk and all of this sort of stuff where he's in total control, even though looking at him, he's just some simple hick, you know, that's just this mechanic covered head to toe in grease with his thick Coke bottle glasses and his buck teeth, and you know, you think you could, you know, have him over at any time. He's probably the most intelligent in a way, you know, the most controlling character out of all, even more controlling than Nick Nolte.
Yeah, because there's obviously this whole thing of Sean Penn feels superior to him, pun not intended.
Okay.
But yeah, he's sort of I mean, this is like probably overanalyzing it, of course, that's what we're doing. But he kind of outwits, and he knows the power of the small town. You know what I mean? Because he's saying you're not going to get another mechanic anywhere.
He takes this real sadistic pleasure, doesn't he, in the whole thing? Yeah.
Yeah, and Sean Penn says, that's the reason I'm passing through and you're stuck here. So there's a bit of a battle of wits. But Daryl realises this is the power I've got. I'm the only mechanic. Yeah, exactly. But also little touches, like he actually puts the car up for sale as well. He's got he's got those signs, and he goes, "Didn't you see the sign?" And it's like, "What fucking sign?"
Did you see it? It was this little handwritten, like not even A4 size piece of paper, covered in grease and tucked behind another piece of paper. And I couldn't even read what it said. You know?
Yeah, and Billy Bob actually did. I mean, he put on a lot of weight for this.
Yes, yeah.
He created the look, and I think the Twister idea was his.
That's so funny.
But
that's the comedic bit. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
But can you imagine this guy was married to Angelina Jolie? The same guy. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. And then right at the end, when Sean Penn asks for the trunk key and he's got it down his trousers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way he pulls that out. Fucking hell. But he's probably the best, possibly the best character, I don't know. Best of the supporting. Most memorable.
Most interesting, the most memorable, I'll say, yes.
There was another thing. Apparently, he's got a police radio. You're just listening to it for entertainment. I didn't pick up on that. Someone told me, yeah. And there's a funny line. Sean Penn's parting line is 40,000 people die every day. How come you're not one of them? But actually, Daryl's got the waitress coming over. That weird waitress from the cafe, if you remember her. Another weird character.
Julie Haggerty from Airplane.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
another
Julie
recognisable face.
Yes. Yeah. In this movie, I think he's the only really unsympathetic character. Everybody else is just beaten and burnt out by their situation of living in this horrible, horrible town. That's the thing. And you've got Claire Danes trying to escape it, pissing off her boyfriend, TNT. You know, small towns are hell. That's the feeling that you get from this. And it's just an oppressive... The film, you just feel it. You just feel the heat and the dust and the frustration throughout this movie. That's why I think I didn't warm to it immediately. I felt very uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah, and at the end, like I said, you feel, I don't know. I think all the incense just gets a bit too much. You know, it's not too much, but it's just going to give you a bad feeling, and you can see why it wasn't a commercial hit really for that reason.
How do you sell that side of the story? Yeah.
Well, that buys into that's why they made it a comedic trailer. Clearly, probably not Oliver Stone's decision, or they thought, well, the only way we're going to sell this, let's reinvent it as a black comedy.
Yeah,
and we'll even get Barry Norman to be on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that because Lopez is so good in this, and she's playing it straight. She's playing it straight. Everybody else's characterizations sort of do suggest a black comedy thinking about it now.
Mm.
They are, aren't they? When you think about it, they're not cartoon-like, but they are comedic, really. She's not.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix, because he sort of thinks he's a bit of a badass. But then when Sean Penn starts beating him up, he starts sort of whimpering like a girl,
Absolutely.
And suddenly Claire Danes...
petrified of the sheriff as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. And Claire Danes is suddenly goes back to him,
That's funny, the way she bounces between them. Yeah,
it's brilliant. Yeah.
He was going to take me away from here, He said nothing of the sort,
Yeah. And then Sean Penn says, is everyone in this town on drugs? And that's kind of what you get the sense. Oh, another question actually to you. What pills do you think he's taking? Are they painkillers or are they something hallucinogenic? I don't know.
Painkillers for his thumb. I think
that's what I did think. But then there's a few shots which are a bit like, if you've seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
It's not that over the top. But in Fear and Loathing, they're sort of properly tripping, so it's a bit more different. But you see Sean Penn look up into the sky and sort of he's squinting a bit like he might be on something.
Oh, true.
Don't know. It's probably left a bit open. Yeah, let's talk about Bobby. So Sean Penn. I think he's pretty much perfect because he's not really likable, but he's almost an everyman. It's like, how would we react if just all this crap was happening around us?
Wasn't even first choice. Wasn't even second choice. Tom Cruise was the original choice.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the original screenplay, I think. They realised that Tom Cruise, once the screenplay had been sort of tweaked and that Tom Cruise probably wouldn't have been right for it. So they then asked Bill Paxton, who agreed. But he had to pull out, I think, about a week or so before they started filming. Well, they asked Sean Penn. Sean Penn couldn't do it. They then asked Paxton. He agreed. He then pulled out, and then Penn was available. Yeah, as I say, I never really warmed to Sean Penn, apart from some big movies like Mystic River. But in this, I quite liked him. He does irritation and being pissed off really well. And the frustration at being roadblocked at every turn.
Yeah.
You feel his pain, not necessarily just the pain of his fingers that have been cut off, but the feeling that you cannot get out of this situation. And just when you think you've had a break, it's got snatched away from you quite literally. And that he does really well. And I quite like him in this.
I mean, I just really like him in this because
I
said he's just on the edge of likable but still unlikable as well. But I'll tell you a couple of shots that I thought made this film really stand out, that it's not just, noir or whatever. So you get the shots, I think when he's in the shower, he's having a shower at J-Lo's.
Yes.
You get the flashbacks to the gangsters in the rain cutting off his fingers, and you really feel like how painful that would be.
Oh, God.
But then do you remember the shots of him as some sort of tennis professional?
Yeah. Well, isn't that what he was going to California to do?
Well, that's the thing. He says, I noticed this. He says to J-Lo, "Oh, I used to be a tennis professional." And then the very next shot is him completely missing the ball.
Yeah.
She's supposed
So
to tell us that
he was bad.
he's not a
at it.
tennis professional, but he probably did play tennis. But what I think is just so hilarious is when you cut to that, he just looks so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he just looks so clean cut, and he's got this lovely smile on his face.
So yeah, it makes you wonder how he got into the lifestyle that he's actually in now. You know, how did he get involved in all this? What does he owe the money for? Is it a drug deal?
Well, I think it might be gambling, which would weirdly put this in our trilogy. I didn't plan that at all, but I think they do mention, or maybe it's in the synopsis, gambling debt to Russian gangsters, I think. And then I thought another bit that I thought was quite good, he starts making phone calls and you get like exposition. He's obviously ringing up these women. You can imagine he's had 30 or 40 affairs with women quite similar to J-Lo, you know, the femme fatale. But then he calls his mother, doesn't he? And she says, "Bobby's dead." And he's like, no, I'm alive. And he says, "You're dead to me." And puts the phone down.
Actually, this film is funnier than I remember it now.
Yeah,
you know, the black comedy thing is actually becoming more evident the more we're talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it is all a bit slightly cartoonish, I think.
Yeah. But at the same time, it is quite brutal. It's very violent.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Is it Tarantino-esque? It's not on that level, but there's elements of it, isn't there? I would say.
No, you've absolutely sold that to me. Yeah, it's Tarantino with a bit of Coen brothers.
Yeah.
And those two, well, him and the team of the Coen brothers, possibly at their peak. Then I don't know. I'm so hit and miss with the Coen brothers. Some of their films I just can't watch. They're too silly. Like I like silly, but when they get it right, you know, because Fargo's got loads of black comedy, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Fargo is the ultimate example. This, as an Oliver Stone movie, it's not his most famous, it's not his most celebrated movie. We know that, you know, because it's, as we've sort of said, it's a sleeper. It's one that you discovered and not many people have. And as people are going back, they're discovering that it's actually not a bad film. Despite the fact that it's not his most sort of celebrated film, as we say, I think stylistically it's quite daring. We've seen elements of this previously in things like JFK. You know, he did a lot of different film stocks and different sharp cutting moves and all that sort of stuff. It is entertaining. You can't deny the fact that this film, despite that I sort of said you could have trimmed 20 minutes out of it, I was thoroughly entertained throughout the movie. There's enough in this that you're not bored at all. And it takes you to some really dark places that you don't want to go. But at the same time, you've got this sort of smile on the side of your face with other things that are going on.
Yeah, there's just enough comedy, I'd probably say, reflecting on it now, to keep it, I don't know, sort of weirdly light, while at the same time, I think really the central thing in the end is probably Grace and Jake. That's the central part, is just unraveling this really horrible history.
The central performances, it's a great ensemble cast with some great cameos, like we said. There was, is it Laurie Metcalf was the bus ticket seller from Roseanne?
Oh yeah, bloody hell, yeah, you're right.
She was in it, and because she appeared in JFK as well. You know, there's these lots of little in that one scene. You get Laurie Metcalf behind the counter, and then Liv Tyler walks in, doesn't say anything, and walks out. It's just really bizarre, but it's great. Absolutely superb film.
Yeah, even her, like Laurie Metcalf, just that last scene, she's good. You know.
The way she turns from being really positive and like, no, look, this ticket is $27, $30, whatever, and then she just cracks at the end of it. She just crumbles, you know.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, and then the whole Bobby and Grace love story. I mean, the bit that did make me slightly laugh. Okay, spoiler alert, everybody, go and watch this film. We'll point you in the right direction. We think after she pushes him off the cliff, and she's climbing down. Which is sort of dressed up as if she's climbing down because she's actually in love with him, but it's because she hasn't got the key. She says, "Bobby, we can still make this work." Really? That's pretty optimistic. After everything that's happened between them, We can still make this work. And they profess their love, and obviously he's trying to get her in so he can basically strangle her and take the money. And what about that as well? This is the only like plot hole that I think is almost unforgivable. How the hell does he get back up the cliff with a broken leg, and then she actually shoots him as well?
Yeah, that wasn't the original ending as well.
Oh, go on, tell us the original.
The original ending, I'm trying to remember this rightly. I read this last week after I watched the movie. They pull over at the side of the road by the precipice, but he tells Grace that once they reach California, he's going to leave her. Calls her like a lying, backstabbing bitch or whatever. So
that's in the film, isn't it?
That's there, right? So they get rid of the body, but what happens? Bobby trips over the cliff, but he's not sure if he was pushed or she was trying to grab him, but he's too injured to walk up, as we see. But what she does, she doesn't throw him the rope. So he, in turn, refuses to throw the keys up to her. It's like, you throw me the keys, will you throw me the rope? That sort of thing. In the end, she leaves him there. She takes the 100,000 K into the desert, and I think the car breaks down and she's 50 miles away from the nearest town or something. So they're both left stranded.
He's still alive,
He's still alive at the bottom of the cliff.
Right.
She's stranded 50 miles away from the nearest town in the middle of the desert, and we know for a fact that they said if you spend more than 2 hours out in that desert, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So it's this really sort of very bleak ending where they're both in this sort of death situation. You know, she could get picked up by a car, he could get wrecked, whatever. You don't know how it's going to end, and that was the original ending.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah. It just made me think of something, actually. What they could have done, which would have been a good twist, Bobby dies, and then the final scene is maybe Grace, so it becomes the Grace story.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, really, in the end, it is the Grace and Jake story, and Bobby is just this guy that everything is happening to.
Yeah.
But the plot that actually unravels is just how dark this history is. So yeah, that could have worked actually. What do you think about when he falls?
Yeah.
Do you think the makeup when he sort of lost most of his teeth?
Brilliant.
I mean, that is pretty good, isn't it?
I looked at those teeth and I'm thinking, has he actually got dentures and he's just taken those out? You know, because you couldn't see that they were blacked out teeth or anything.
Yeah.
And it did look fucking painful, actually.
Quite horrific. It looks quite horrific, actually.
Yeah, some of the gore in this is you don't see the fingers being chopped off earlier, but you feel it, don't you? And that scene's going on, and you don't get a close up of him punching the hell out of Joaquin Phoenix, but that's quite brutal as well. But yeah, falling down that cliff, that precipice, and you see him, and the only thing missing was like a twisted leg, to bend back on itself or something, because it did look as if he'd broken a few bones, definitely lost a few teeth, like you say. Yeah,
that was pretty rough. I suppose the noir element, going back to just thinking of Bobby and Grace, is all obviously the backstabbing. And I hadn't really noticed this, but they both sell the other one out and then claim that they were doing it for a good reason.
Yeah.
Just before Bobby kills Jake, Nick Nolte, he's saying that Grace wants to kill him, and then with Powers Booth, when he turns up, and it turns out that he's also one of Grace's lovers, he sells him out and then pretends. Yeah,
plot twist upon plot twist upon plot twist in this movie, coupled with bad luck incident upon bad luck incident. It's difficult to keep up with it sometimes. You're like, hang on, this is getting really convoluted now. How the hell does he fit in with... And then you realise that Powers Booth has also been shagging Jennifer Lopez as well.
There's even a nude sex scene as well.
You know the controversy about that, don't you?
Of the sex scene?
Yeah. Basically, that was added at the end by Oliver Stone.
Right.
Because he wanted to see Jennifer Lopez nude. At one point before the filming of that scene, he walked into her dressing room and asked her to take her clothes off. And one of his assistants had to come in and apologise, basically, for his behaviour. And she begged for that whole sex scene not to be filmed, but he insisted on it and tacked it on. Horrible story.
Yeah, it's weird, yeah. Yeah, because if you ever listen to any of his DVD commentaries, they're great because he's got such a calm voice. Scorsese's very kind of excitable, as you can imagine. Stone's got a calm voice, but you can feel from all the stories of his behind the scenes of his films that he is a difficult guy. I mean, he's a Vietnam vet with PTSD at the end of the day, but he's a quite a combative character. And I think Natural Born Killers was like really rough. Like they had to shoot it pretty quickly. And this as well. I mean, he said I was doing 18-hour days, in the desert. 4 hours sleep or however much sleep you get.
Yeah.
It's not surprising that stuff comes up, but I think he was He's a pretty edgy character, Oliver Stone, in real life. Probably still.
Yeah, he's a political activist. He's got his beliefs. Most of that is projected in the movies that he makes. His choice of films. Personally, like I say, I think I prefer the more political, long-winded, historical type stuff than these action sort of crime dramas that he's done. But I absolutely enjoyed this.
Yeah. There's little touches as well that, again, I'm not going to claim that I noticed all this. Like, when you watch interviews and stuff, it's pointed out. He runs over a black cat at the beginning, and then he kicks a cat, I think, in the cafe. And then as revenge, he's trying to steal the money out the till, and the cat just goes, "Wow."
That's true.
Cat comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not claiming I would have noticed that, but obviously the black cat is known for luck.
Didn't even think of that. Absolutely. There you go.
And let's talk about themes. So I've only got a couple here, really. I'm not going to say I would have noticed this anyway, but Oliver Stone makes a big thing about the animal themes. Nolte is supposed to lope around a bit like a wolf. He's also very, very strong. So the death scene when Bobby kills him is drawn out just to show how difficult it is to kill. Obviously, you can shoot somebody, but is to kill somebody like Nick Nolte because he's quite a tough character. And then you get all the thing I was saying earlier. Grace actually kind of hisses before she pushes him over the cliff, and they bare their teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously we're talking about like really primitive behavior. So there's an animal theme. Obviously, like not reaching your goal is it's really obvious one. So he's taking a U-turn instead of going forward, And notice as well, we'll come on to the music in a minute, the same sort of cheery song plays at the end and at the beginning.
The music was a bit disconcerting at times because I felt it didn't fit at first, some of it, even during the film. Yeah.
Oh, can we come on to that in a sec? Yeah, because I want to hear about that. But Oliver Stone makes a big thing about all his films are essentially about the violence in America, and it's different types of violence. Yeah, there's a line, "A man without ethics is a free man." But it's about really, the sex scene as well. Jake is shagging her, and he's, you fuck around like your mama, but you always come home to daddy. And
God, yeah.
That's where it gets dark. The other sex scene's quite funny, isn't it, with Sean Penn? Because she stops it, do you remember?
Yes.
She says, "Oh, I can't," and then he sort of finishes himself off.
That's right.
Against a tree. See, the film is funnier than we realise.
It is actually. This is a very dark comedy. Yeah.
I'm feeling that as we're talking. And then just the thing about nothing is what it seems. Did you like John Voight? The dead dog isn't dead, and he's not actually blind in the end.
Was John Voight supposed to be this all-seeing, wise Native American, or was he just an ignorant tramp? I don't know if he was actually
right in the middle of those two.
Yeah, things. I don't think he was this mythical sort of, like you see the old Native Americans as this, looking up into the sky and predicting the future and giving these wise words. He was just a mess. Yeah. That was just a beggar. It was just a mess. And didn't he say something about he lost his eyes in Vietnam or something, or somewhere in some war?
I thought he had acid poured.
But then he says he had acid poured because it was over a woman. He changes the story. Does he say it was over a woman?
I suppose he's got that right because Grace is basically the death of Bobby. So he's kind of got that bit right. But he's somewhere in the middle of just talking absolute bollocks and having a bit of wise philosophy.
And the real sort of like, I don't know, galling thing about this whole thing, Oliver Stone, someone that is quite vociferous about, the plight of the Native Americans. Why has he hired John Voight to play one? Why didn't he hire a Native American actor?
I think it maybe gives a sense that, because I don't even know if we're supposed to know it's supposed to recognise John Voight. I mean, you don't really. He's in the cast, but I suppose he just hired him to show it's like nothing is what it seems in this film. That's the noir thing. You never know who's loyal and who isn't. And I think just everything is an illusion. So he's like an illusory character, I suppose.
It's just really weird. It was just really bizarre. Yeah.
Well, he's sort of the character that Sean Penn can sort of come back to, and he's sort of annoying, but I suppose he's slightly peaceful company. I suppose he's just talking continuously, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right, music, yeah. Now, I think the choice of Peggy Lee, or Peggy Leg, as John Lennon would call her,
Yeah.
it's a good day. And I've written down some lyrics. Good day for singing a song, good day for morning to night. There's even a line, throw away the pills, which is quite
There
funny.
you go. Yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed that. But yeah, which were the songs that you thought didn't?
No, the jukebox stuff worked for me. That really worked. It was just the actual sort of score. Some of it
Right.
just seemed a bit bizarre for what was going on the screen. And it took me out of it for a while. It was that noticeable.
Didn't really notice it.
Yeah, I did.
I always say this, don't I? I didn't notice it.
But on a second viewing, it probably won't be as obvious to me. But no, things like, the classic stuff, the old 50s stuff, they were playing the Johnny Cash and the country stuff. Fine, that worked with it. That worked with the situation. But it was just certain bits, I think, when they were out in the desert, and it was just a really bizarre choice of score that they used.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, what I've got here, obviously the Peggy Lee, just playing that at the end as well is just perfect, just brilliantly ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 50 songs could almost tell you that this is a town that's just stuck in the past.
Stuck in time, yep, absolutely.
It's never going to change.
Yep.
And then there was the bit I wanted to talk to you about as well, which has a touch of The Shining about it. There was that Native American style music and the shrieking. Because in the beginning of The Shining, when you see the car and it's going over the mountains, you get this shrieking sounds that could be sort of birds in the sky or something. There's even a story like the Native Americans are driven off the land, so you get all that as well.
Yeah, there's The Shining is riddled with Native American references. There's that documentary Room 237 that highlights all of it. I don't think it was as obvious to me on this first time watch. If I was to go back, I would probably find a dozen references. But yeah, I was just involved with all the other stuff that was going on to try and find any sort of hidden depths to this. I was watching it almost at face level without trying to overanalyze it.
Yeah, I think another viewing you'd get a ton out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think I've probably seen this about 5 times.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like that. I watched it a couple of times. I got the video at the time, 98. We watched it and I'd never even heard of J-Lo at that time. And I was just thinking, fucking hell, woman is like perfection. But then, I'm sort of thinking if I was Bobby, however beautiful she is and however kind of alluring she is, by the end, I'm not surprised he's going to cut her off. Because it's like, as he said, what other horrifying sick shit are you going to come up with next? She's properly, sorry to say, but like really screwy, and you can see why. You have sympathy because of the life she's had. She's never had any childhood. That's why she kind of looks a bit like a little girl in a way. But she's like a full-on femme fatale. She's danger.
That's the neo-noir of this movie. There has to be a femme fatale. Just going back to the music as well, we mentioned westerns earlier. It's more spaghetti western than western, I think. And it's just this really weird sort of, at parts, it's this weird sort of trip in the desert.
Yeah.
You feel really trippy watching it.
It's very hallucinogenic.
Yeah. And I think that's what, obviously, it done its job. It disconcerted me while I was watching it, so the film has actually done what it set out to do. And I think you've got under the skin of this movie now, and you're just watching it and enjoying it for what it is, and taking in the elements that you've loved over your previous 3-4 watches. And I think I'm going to end up loving this. I'm going to end up watching this a little bit more. It's different. Like we said, it squarely falls in that category of Quentin Tarantino, Coen Brothers, the late 90s crime flicks that everybody was making, that had nods back to the noir films that we know and love. And for some reason, it's got forgotten. It's got brushed under the carpet somewhere for whatever, and it shouldn't be. It should be up there.
It's too nasty, though. It's too nihilistic, I think. It's probably got a brilliant, a great cult audience. Can imagine. Hopefully there's people listening to us who absolutely love it, and they completely bought into it. Kind of like I am, I suppose.
Well, I think the real strength is the cast. If nothing else, when you look that you've got Sean Penn, Nick Nolte, John Voight, Claire Danes, Joaquin Phoenix, Powers Booth, Billy Bob Thornton, that's a great late 90s cast. Why was this not bigger,
Yeah, I don't know. I think also with with the plot. I'm just impressed that there's a twist in the last 10 seconds, because some films peter out. I often find myself saying to you, I much prefer the first 2/3 of this film.
Yeah.
Because I think some films peter out, but the fact that this has got a strong ending and it's got stuff that you're not expecting right to the last 10 seconds, I give it credit for that. Just one thing, just a little thing with the animals. If you noticed all this, so right at the beginning, you see some vultures eating kind of roadkill. We get the birds shrieking, a scorpion is hanging on the water tap. You get snakes hissing, and then the other thing, what about all the Jesus posters and signs that just come out of nowhere, and they flick on the screen while some really dark shit is happening, you know?
There's this massive like mural on the side of the church.
Yeah.
Walking up the hill. And it looked like the church was closed and this mural was like covering the door. I don't know if that church was open or not. But there's a lot of religious imagery. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. But it's all sort of fallen, it gives you the sort of fallen angels idea, because some really dark stuff is going on, and then suddenly they flash I don't know if it's Jesus Saves, but it's that kind of thing. Or a poster of Jesus, salvation is coming.
Yeah, but it's a town that God has forgotten, mate. You know, it just, honestly, there's only one religion in that town, and that's run by the sheriff, you know.
Yeah. Just pops up every 20 minutes, doesn't he? Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, you need to watch more Powers Booth stuff, mate.
Yeah, I should, yeah. Just a bit more of the imagery. So obviously Grace is in a red dress, so danger.
Yeah, true. Yep, big red flag, yep.
Yeah, he calls her the Queen of Hot and Cold. And then there's some really good long shots. Do you remember when Bobby is going to throw her off the cliff? Again, you get and you just get that brilliant like long shot, and they're just two tiny figures in this enormous mountain. So they get sort of swallowed up by the surroundings, and they end up with like 4 dead bodies in the end, don't they? We found out the mother as well. Her mother was probably killed by Jake and pushed off.
She was pushed off by
There's a collection of people coming off that cliff. And then, as you said earlier, washed out colours, and it's quite hallucinogenic. Because there's a scene in Natural Born Killers where they go into the desert and take acid. In The Doors as well. I didn't mention The Doors.
Well, he's got the Indian thing that he talks to, hasn't he?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Native American comes to him and talks to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I completely forgotten about The Doors, because I absolutely love that, because I love The Doors. And I know some of the surviving Doors hated it because they just turned Jim into only a prick, basically. I love that film. Okay, reviews. Have you got any there? Otherwise, I'll just read a couple of these.
It was divided. What I found out, deeply divided critical receptions. Many praised the bold and audacious style and dark humour. There we go, dark humour again. I personally got this film wrong. And the strong performances from the ensemble cast. Some saw it as clever and an energetic take on neo-noir, aware of its cinematic influences, classic film noir and spaghetti westerns. There you go. Ebert gave it a positive review, it says here, appreciating its manic energy and Stone's gleeful direction, but others found it nihilistic, excessively violent, populated with unlikable characters with whom it was impossible to empathise.
Could empathise with Sean Penn, I suppose. But
yeah,
I think Ebert must have reassessed it. Because on Wikipedia it's got 1.5 stars, a repetitive, pointless exercise in genre filmmaking. The kind of film where you distract yourself by making a list of the sources. I can't agree with that, because I was totally locked into this film. I was like, at the end of 2 hours, I was like, I had to come out of it, you know. 3 out of 4. For those who enjoy movies on the edge, U-Turn offers just the trajectory you might expect. And then from the San Francisco Chronicle, demonstrates a filmmaker in complete control of his craft and with little control over his impulses.
Yeah.
But Stone said he had high hopes for it. He was quite gutted that it just fell by the wayside.
I think it was lost amongst a lot of blockbusters in 97. You know, it was the year of Armageddon and all that sort of stuff. Also lost amongst a lot of similar movies, you know, of that sort of genre that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, maybe have a quick look at 97.
When was Titanic? See the ones that was Titanic 96 or 97?
Oh, yeah, it was. No, 97. Yeah, you're right. Let's have a looky. Obviously, this went nowhere near the Oscars. As you said, it was more Razzies.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Austin Powers, first one. As good as it gets. That was a big winner, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fifth Element, Dante's Peak, Alien Resurrection.
Copland, Deconstructing Harry, Donnie Brasco. Fucking hell. There's so many every year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a Sean Penn one, The Game. Have you seen that with Michael Douglas?
Yeah, great film. Yeah,
it's good, isn't it? I love that. He doesn't really have much of a role, sort of the younger brother.
Yeah.
Goodwill Hunting, Jackie Brown.
Oh, there you go then. It's
So,
going to get lost, isn't it?
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Nil by Mouth. The Rainmaker's really good. Wag the Dog, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sort of political satire. Jeez. It is a bit like, for me, I don't know if you feel the same, but I'd say the 90s is a bit like the 70s in the same way that it's a bit like the 60s with music. But I love the 90s because I got to almost be in the 60s while in my 20s and then get a bit of Easy Riders, Raging Bulls as well, you know.
Yeah.
I think the 90s was a great decade.
There's certainly some stuff, just immediately looking at this 1 year, 97, there's absolutely everything. The blockbusters of the year, you've got Dante's Peak and Volcano competing against each other. You've got a Bond movie. You've got that awful film, The Postman, with Kevin Costner. Everybody went to watch it because, you know, it was Kevin Costner. It was like, you know, a big epic. You had The Fifth Element. You had an Alien movie. Harrison Ford in Air Force One. It was that sort of era, absolutely. You know, Event Horizon, which is a severely underwatched movie. Event Horizon is a fantastic film.
I think I've seen that once. I wonder, I don't know if this was in direct competition with Titanic, but obviously perhaps the success of Titanic would have put people off this even more because it's talk about I know Titanic's a disaster with the ship, but it's very wholesome at the same time. And
yeah,
I don't know, this is just like complete opposite. I think my conclusion is this: we have realised it's more of a comedy than we thought. It was marketed as a comedy because I think there was no other way, in a way, to get people to watch this because perhaps it is just a little bit. It's not difficult to watch in the kind of Irreversible vein.
No, not at all.
The last 20 minutes of Requiem.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe a bit too nihilistic, but I personally just love it and I would direct people to it.
Perhaps that's where they went wrong. Perhaps they should have marketed it as a Coen Brothers Tarantino style movie, mate, rather than a dark comedy. I'd encourage anybody to give it a go, especially if they love that genre of films and it's a blind spot in their viewing history that they haven't seen this. It's a welcome addition. Absolutely, yeah.
But I'd definitely say as well, I mean, as we've talked loads of times, it's different watching a film for a podcast. You feel a little bit of pressure to notice things. Yeah. I think someone who's never seen this, or maybe someone who's seen it once or twice and wants to get back to it, I would just watch it for those details, because by the end, it's just, you can't possibly make sense of all those dizzying images and all the references. It's impossible.
I've got to go back and pick up on all of it and probably watch it in the vein of a dark comedy rather than a crime movie, you know?
Yeah,
That's what I need to be doing.
All right, we got anything else? I'm pretty happy with that.
I would just recommend it to people that haven't seen it. Take pleasure in Billy Bob Thornton's performance. And if you think you're having a shit day, Sean Penn's having a far worse one.
Of course, yeah. Right. So in terms of Film Gold, the next episode, what we're going to do, myself and Luke Thompson, my friend, we recorded The Life of Brian back in something like March or April. We did it on video. And what I normally do is, as we discussed, bring the audio out a few months later. Mm-hmm. So for the Film Gold audience, in November, it's going to be Life of Brian. In December, it's going to be Meaning of Life, because Luke and I have done Holy Grail. We've done Life of Brian, so another trilogy.
Excellent.
But in terms of your show, you've got to choose the next film. So
when we are next together, which I may push for before Christmas, if not, it will be just in the start of the new year.
Okay.
I had one in mind, and I've completely changed that now. We're going to watch Southern Comfort. Let's do the Powers Booth 1981 movie that is the natural sort of brother to Deliverance, because you haven't seen it. I'd love to get your opinion on it. I think Deliverance is the better movie, but I do like the way this sits with it. And there's a good cast. Walter Hill, great director.
So sort of Deliverance 2, but not quite.
Deliverance Redux.
Can I just have a quick look at this?
That's fine. No, please do. I want you to get a little bit of info on it. And
so Walter Hill did... Oh, did you do Bitch Custody? No, he didn't. Who am I thinking of? That's George Roy Hill. Sorry.
George Roy Hill, yes. Yeah.
Walter Hill, I've got... 48 Hours. There you go. Nick
There
Nolte.
you go, yeah.
Streets of Fire, Red Heat. Who else have we got here? The Carradine. I always get the Carradines mixed up.
This is the one that isn't in Kill Bill.
Oh, right, yeah, that's David. Which one died in a hotel room in Thailand? David, wasn't it?
That was David, I think. Or was it both of them? Who knows?
Peter Coyote. He
Yeah.
does a lot of voiceovers, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did the was it the American West? I think it was that great
And the Ken Burns.
Ken Burns American West thing.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Vietnam as well.
Yeah.
Who else have we got here? Fred. He said Fred West.
It's a completely different film.
Fred Ward. What have we got? Escape from Alcatraz. Oh, he's a very recognisable face,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not not an
brilliant.
A-list cast, but there's some famous, familiar faces, should we say. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so that'll be the next, well, not the next Stinking Paws, but the next one that we do.
We are together, mate. That will be the next one we're going to review. Yeah.
Okay, and like I said, for Film Gold, it's going to be Life of Brian and Meaning of Life to take us up to Christmas. Quick question: How many podcasts are you getting through? I know in a year. How many are you putting out roughly? Oh, it's not 100. No, it wouldn't be 100. No.
It's about 30 Real Britannia, about a dozen, 40. It's somewhere in the region of somewhere between 60 and 70.
Blimey.
That I do, not as guests, as a guest. Yeah. So that's Real Britannia, Rainbow Valley, Stinking Paws, and Talking Pictures. Yeah.
And have you guested on anything recently? What was the one you were telling me about?
We were recently on. There's a guy that appears on Real Britannia quite often. Mark, very dear friend of ours, Mark, who hosts The Good, the Bad, and the Odd.
Oh yeah.
And at the moment, he's reviewing every anthology TV series that there is. Things like the most familiar ones would be like Outer Limits and Tales of the Unexpected and all those sort of anthology, one-off sort of episode things. And Stephen and I were invited on to do season 1 of Inside Number 9. We reviewed all of that with him, which was really funny. Yeah.
But weren't you on? Were you on Band Biographies as well?
No, Tom appeared on This Is England. We did, and he's coming back to do The Commitments with Morris.
That's
Tom
the host.
Band Biographies, Tom. Yeah. Lives down the road. Literally lives a mile away.
Because I listened to, he did like a 3 or 4 hour deep dive on the Clash. I just sort of ploughed through that.
Yeah, that's great.
Really?
I mean,
and the Sex Pistols as well.
Yeah, he's taken a bit of a break, but he's halfway through one on Madness at the moment. He says he's desperate to do part 2. We're having a chat, so he's going to do that. I did the Goon Show one.
Oh yeah.
Some guy in America's invited me on one that he does about British movies. He wants me to do a Powell and Pressburger film with him.
Oh, guest stuff's so good though, isn't it? You get ready, you don't have pressure, and you don't have to edit it.
No editing. Thank you. Yeah.
I had a very, very loyal listener who's left lots of nice reviews and stuff. He offered to edit them for me. I want to get into audiobooks.
I'm
get
well
paid
into
for
them at
reading
the
audio.
moment. Yeah,
No, I want to get paid for reading them. I'm talking about. I listen to them as well. Yeah, for sure. With my soothing voice. Hello, everybody. Welcome to. It's Bob Harris. Again.
That's all you got to do is just do your Bob Harris voice.
I want to see Bob Harris reviewing U-Turn. That would just be so brilliant.
Oh, yes, and the snake imagery is something.
Yes, it's a slightly dark film, everybody. You will feel completely hopeless about life itself and the motives of everyone you meet. And on that note, we'd like to say thank you to everybody for listening. So this is Film Gold and The Stinking Paws. And Scott, thanks for being on your own show as well as mine.
Thank you, mate. I'll see you soon.
Hi there, bud. I was starting to think you wasn't coming back. One of them days when you feel like you're running around in circles and you ain't no closer to where you're trying to get than when you started.
Been there, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. And when you feel like that, I don't think there's anything else you can do except tough it out.
Believe that?
You think bad, and then bad's what you get.
No, it's a pretty decent philosophy you got there.
Well, no charge.
Hey, Daryl. About the $150.
200.
Next town I get to, I'll send it to you, I swear to God.
200. You owe me $200.
This morning you said it was going to run me $150 for the hose.
Well, yeah, for the hose. But when you left this morning, I had to replace a gasket. And that's going to run you another 50.
Nobody said anything about replacing a gasket.
Well, it was shot.
Fuck. I didn't tell you you could do it, and you can't do unauthorized work.
So all of a sudden, you know everything there is to know about being a mechanic. Well, didn't you read the sign? I can't do unauthorized work. What am I supposed to do? Let you drive out of here with a bad gasket? Then you get in an accident and get killed. Or worse. And who do they blame? They blame me. And there goes my reputation.
What reputation? You're just an ignorant, inbred tumbleweed hick.
Is that an insult or you insulting me?
Listen to me, you stupid fuck.
You listen to me, goddammit, you sorry son of a bitch. You owe me money. And this car ain't going no goddamn where till I get it. Do you understand me? And if you take another 5 hours, by God, then I'll find another $50 worth of work to do on the son of a bitch. And now you get your ass out of here before I call the sheriff. Who knows me? Oh, you want to play? Well, I'll play with you. Come on. I'll play with you. You want to smash something? Huh? Here, I'll smash something. Okay. Okay, thank you. What's the matter? Is all the fight gone out of you?
Just leave the car alone.
You know what? It's too goddamn late. You pissed me off.
God damn it, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
There you go, sweet talking me again.
Hey, Daryl, I'm gonna get you your money. Let me just get a couple of things out of my truck, okay?
What do you want?
What'd you do to my truck?
I had to pop the lock. You didn't leave me no trunk key.
And you had to get in my truck?
When I work on the car, I work on the car, bud.
You motherfucker! Motherfucker! You motherfucking big fucking shit!
You just can't help yourself, can you, mister?
Fuck you!
You're out of control.